Tonight we delve deep into the heart of a movement that swept not just the nation but the globe. The Truth Movement, defenders of transparency and seekers of justice, or so they claim.
It sounds admirable when you put it like that, Tyrant. But as with everything, the devil's in the details, isn't it?
Indeed, Sophie. And speaking of details, there's one particular figure who's been both a central voice and an enigma within the movement, Charlie Ward. During the great pandemic of 2020, a new voice arrived on YouTube that was searching for the truth. The phenomenon that is Charlie Ward. Charlie became an online sensation. He had a whirlwind 60 years on the planet that saw him go from being a humble English kid, brought up in bizarre religious cult in the 1960s, to being an international financier and mover of money for the world's governments.
Charlie Ward, a name that echoes through halls where truths and secrets mingle. His history is complex, isn't it?
Complex and troubling, Sophie. Reports have linked Ward to a slew of dubious activities. Whispers of moving money internationally under questionable circumstances, exclusive flights on private jets.
And not just money, Tyrant. There are unsettling rumours about the passengers on those jets, including children.
In the next clip, you will see a lady called Sabrina, who says she was sold into a coven and recognized Charlie's voice as someone being on the private jet.
The biggest problem is a lot of these people are not who we think they are. These are people in power.
I know.
These are well-known
people who
actors.
have a really great professional
image.
Image, thank you. Yeah. Most, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I was sold first into, they called it their coven. And so it was the coven of, and I'm not going to say the rest of it, but it's darkness, okay? In part of the name, they worshipped certain demonic entities, and they made sacrifices on the weekly. And these were human sacrifices. I was told in there before I was 18 months old. And included in being owned by that group was being just trafficked sexually as a child, but also into human trials for scientific research, or just some masochistic dude who needs to take stuff out on a kid, or transporting illegal substances from one country to another. When I very first saw you, Charlie, I swore I knew you. And then I heard you talk. And I swear to you, I've met you before on a private plane, going to one. I wish I had a map right here with me.
Disturbing indeed. And there's more. Connections to symbols like the white rabbit, known in certain circles for its deeper, darker connotations.
The white rabbit, a symbol fraught with meanings. Yet this same symbol appears recurrently among those in the Truth Movement. An ironic twist, wouldn't you say?
Ironic and concerning, especially when so many within the movement have been guests on Ward's show, sitting down with the man himself, discussing the very crimes they oppose. In our upcoming clips, you'll observe numerous truthers appearing on Charlie's show, yet not a single one has questioned his past.
I'm Matt Letitia.
I'm Fiona Rose Diamond.
Ricky Lambert here.
My name is John O'Looney.
My name is Nazarene Veronica.
I'm Charlie Ward.
Really? Many years ago, I was involved with a certain television personality that allowed me access into the BBC. I used to be able to get onto a very famous program called Top of the Pops. And a lot of the girls would say to me, Charlie, get me on Top of the Pops. And I could take probably 5 or 10 girls on a week. And I said, well, I'll take you on, but you'll end up having to shag with the bloke that, you know, he'll probably want to shag. And they were like, no problem, we come, you know. Yeah. There was never a problem.
Right.
Now 30 years on, and then their marriage is dissolved and they're in their 50s and 60s, it's suddenly become a problem. It wasn't a problem all those years ago.
Right, exactly.
And I remember these girls saying, I'm quite happy to come there. So I'm very, very careful. Now, there is a lot of bad things going on for definite. And there was bad things going on there because a lot of these girls were young girls, you know. Back in the sort of 80s, I didn't think anything of it. The moral compass was out of sync, I think, then.
I am Kate Shamarani.
My name is Mark Atwood.
My name is Matt Hoy.
I withdraw my consent to be governed by any corrupt, compromised, belligerent, or criminal parliament or government. I will not comply.
Let's play a child porn video one day. Let's play it, and I know it sounds appalling, but let's see the reality of what these young children have to go through. Let's see the physical injuries that they endure, the fear in their eyes. And that's not even going near the satanic stuff.
No.
And then the snuff movies. And I'll tell you what, there won't be one decent individual, left wing, right wing, or indifferent, that wouldn't want hanging brought back the next day. You know,
I've been sent videos and they've made me. I've had to turn them off, John. They were so disgusting.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, Andrew Bridge, an MP in the United Kingdom, great to have you on my channel here today. I've been watching you for the last few weeks with interest, because you're one of a very, very few that have actually stood up and spoken out. And certainly myself and my audience take our hats off to you. And it's not easy, because it's almost like an old boys club where they all stick together. And if you step out of line, I know this from 30 years ago, I had dealings with the British government when I was doing the security of prisons in the UK. I was dealing with a certain Michael Howard and Michael Forsyth.
I know them both, yes.
It was reported by the Daily Fail newspaper, the Lying Liars of Lies. They had guillotines, or guillotines, however you want to say it, in the basements of town halls. And they were all dismantled, but one room was locked. And when the Allies got in, sure enough, there was a guillotine, and they kept meticulous records.
And they hadn't actually inquired what it was.
Wow, that is amazing. But even admitting as a directive, that is astounding, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Mm-hmm. The first time, Piers, that I ever came into contact with when they were playing around with the weather was Beijing for the Olympics. And I thought that was a great idea, that they could clear the eggs. I've been to Beijing.
Well, fair enough. It can be done for progressive purposes.
This hasn't got any darker. We're just now seeing it because we never saw it before, because we were living in it. And now we're starting to see it. And I'm very grateful for people like Gary who are helping expose the darkness. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you very much for having me on, Charlie. I really appreciate it.
It's a real pleasure. You know, it was a journey that, I'll be honest with you, started off with 80% women following me, which was great when I was single. But I'm so glad to have young men out there fighting with me now. Really am.
Yes, and that brings us to a critical point. Why? Why has there been such a glaring oversight? Is it ignorance, complicity, or something else?
It's the question on many lips, Sophie. Why hasn't anyone from within the movement publicly questioned Ward about his past, about the allegations that shadow him?
Is it fear, or perhaps the allure of the spotlight that Ward's platform offers? It's a puzzle that those who claim to seek truth must solve, lest they undermine their own credibility.
Absolutely. The integrity of any movement hinges on the integrity of its leaders. And if the truth movement is to live up to its name, then its advocates need to confront this issue head-on.
The truth is a powerful tool, but only if wielded with unflinching honesty and courage. It's time for those in the truth movement to ask themselves, what are they really fighting for?
And more importantly, who are they really fighting alongside? Tonight's exploration is just the beginning. Stay tuned as we continue to uncover more about what lies beneath the surface of the truth movement.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.
If you like the video, here are some others that are on my channel. And remember to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Bye for now.